What's going on, my brother?
Yes.
You are stoked about tonight, buddy.
Oh,
You have
yeah.
been stoked.
I have been.
Already
That's
on
why I
fire.
put that video together because I was like, yeah, I'm stoked. I'm gonna play this tune. I actually did another one too. I did "Don't Tell Me You Love Me," but I didn't drop it.
You
I
haven't
was like,
dropped that one yet, huh?
yeah, I'm going to probably. I think I probably will tomorrow. I was thinking, yeah, well, should I or should I not? But I did the same thing with it. I thought, man, I'm just pumped.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. So a great evening in store for us tonight. Of course, we've got Brad Gillis of Night Ranger joining us tonight, which is a phenomenal treat for us. Thanks to Jody Best and Best Bet Promotions for making that happen. On kind of a downer kind of note, I'm kind of going to be a little bit more quiet this evening. Unfortunately, my wife and I have COVID going through the house. It's kind of having its way with us right now, so my voice is a little on the rough side, but we're going to make the evening of it, and Brad's going to be great. Robbie's got a ton of stuff coming and stuff. By the way, speaking of music, get those tickets, guys. Tickets for next week, August 27th. It's 10 days away. Rock the River Fest taking place right here in San Angelo, Texas. Of course, JRGW, Quiet Riot, Tequila Rock Revolution, Vallejo, Morgan Miles, all on one stage, one night. It's going to be a fantastic time. Make sure you get your tickets to it.
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about tonight. I mean, ATBPO came out. They got a new record. We want to talk about the new record. We want to talk about other stuff too. Old guitars, old amps. We won't geek out too much. We'll have some good stuff for everybody in there.
You're gonna geek out like no other. You know it already, brother. All right, let's bring him in. Let's not wait anymore.
Yeah, we can. Yeah, let's do it.
Let's bring the man up. What's going on, my brother?
Hi. How you guys doing, man?
Excellent.
Good. How you doing, brother?
Oh, good, man. Just hanging out, and I put up this new amplifier wallpaper up here, so it kind of looks real, but yeah.
So realistic. It's almost like scratch and sniff kind of thing.
3D. And those records behind it, same thing, wallpaper.
Yeah. It's so funny. Our big success was in the '80s, so now I have the albums, but we had something else go platinum here a while back, and it came in a little CD, and it's much smaller. It doesn't have the same effect, but yeah, man. Hey, good to see you guys, man. Glad to be here.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
Glad to have
you. Man, we love going all the way back. We love taking it back to the beginnings of where this all became, where it all began. And I think 1965-ish for you, getting the first guitar, kind of Beatles influence. You want to go ahead and start off from there?
Did you see the Beatles?
My brother was 7 years older than me, so when I grew up and the Beatles came out in '64, I just like, woo! It's like I wanted to play guitar. So my father said, my mom played piano and sang around the house all the time. My sister, a couple years older, she'd sing. A lot of music going on in the house. So for my 8th birthday, I asked my parents for a guitar. And, they're pretty much said, yeah, we'll get you a guitar if you take lessons, right? So they bought me. I have it. Let me show it to you.
Yes, Vanguard.
Let's see, a 1965 K Vanguard 2. Check this puppy out. Plays like crap, but I learned on it. Just learned all the chords I needed to learn back then. And I was taking lessons from this old guy, probably younger than me, now I think about it. But learning like Mary Had a Little Lamb and reading charts. It's like wow, I was like, I don't want to learn this stuff. So a friend of my brother's came over. He said, hey Brad, man, just start listening to the radio. He said all the songs that are on there, these 7 main chords, and if not the big 12, So I started listening to the radio. When anything came on, I started picking up by ear. Then my brother set me up with his turntable. Of course, around 67, 68 is when all that great music, Summer of Love stuff started coming out. And he had all the records. So I just he'd go out every night and I'd sit in his room and play this stuff. And I was almost too loud for my parents. They were like, turn it down. So my brother, being an electronics guy, ended up making this box for me. And the box had a little preamp in it. So their turntable outs went into the box, which with the preamp in it. And then I plugged my guitar into the box and I hear the distortion. And then I had a knob that would control the volume of my guitar to the key, whatever I'm playing on the turntable. And I just sitting with headphones on. I sit in this room for hours and just learn how to learn everything I could. And then my brother's friend taught me the pentatonic scale, and I started doing that, and then, you know, little by little, I was able to start young, you know, which was awesome.
So how much were guitar lessons back in 1965? What were you paying?
$2 an hour.
$2
and blue chip stamp. I have no idea. I don't know. But it was in Alameda, California. That's where I grew up. Born in Honolulu. My dad was in the Navy. Got transferred to Alameda Naval Air Station. That's where pretty much I grew up. But yeah. Wow.
So one brother, one sister.
Yeah. My sister 2 years older, and my brother 7 years old. So,
like my brother.
My sister sings, played in bands before. My brother can't hold a note, but he's an electronics guy and did real well. He has made a career of electronics and inventing all kinds of cool stuff. But there you go.
So you were playing that young. Did you have bands in grade school? You know, junior high?
I had my first band at 10 years old. That would be 1967. We were called the Invaders, and you know, it's like basically anything. We were playing anything on the radio and just having fun with it. You know, so I was 10 years old. Then a TV show came out called The Invaders, and anyway, so I got into high school, had bands all through high school, which was a blast. And I grew up with Danny Chauncey. Danny Chauncey played with, of course, 38 Special for 30 years, and we had competitive bands back then. And but it was a lot of fun, man. You know, I grew up in music. I was able to play music all, you know, young or super young, and then through high school. And then when I got out of high school, I wanted to make money playing music. So I got in at 18 years old. I heard this band playing clubs around the San Francisco Bay Area. We're looking for a guitar player. Of course, they were all 21 and over, but I was 18, and you know, basically, I told them that you know, I was underage, but I would do whatever it takes to be able to play and make money, so I could move out of the house. So they found out that if I was 18, I could play in bars, but I couldn't hang out at the bar during the breaks. So during the breaks, I was hanging out backstage and then peeking through the windows, watching all my other bandmates pick up on girls, getting drunk, having a good time. Then someone said, "Go to Berkeley and buy a fake ID." So for $50, I was able to buy this California, not a driver's license, California ID, they called it, with my picture on it that said I was 21. And that opened a whole new ball game for me playing in clubs. So
now, was this band, it wasn't Rubicon, right? That wouldn't have been Rubicon.
That's before Rubicon. And then the guys at Rubicon, I heard they were looking for a guitar player. I heard that someone said, "Hey, these guys might be coming in to check you out." And sure enough, these three guys came in, and they're sitting at a table right in front of me. And they weren't dancing. They were looking at me, and I thought, "Well, this is awkward." And then during a break, I said, "Hey, man, we lost our guitar player. He got married, and his wife doesn't want him touring. So we got a record deal with 20th Century Fox Record. You want to come to LA and do a record?" I went, "Okay."
Right.
LA and did my first record in 1976, 77.
Wow. That would be Jeff Martini from the Sly and the Family Stone. Was that him? Did he come in himself?
Jerry Martini, yes.
Jerry
Martini, yeah, it was his band. Oh. And we went and cut a record. We had a semi-hit on the radio called "I'm Gonna Take Care of Everything." Anyway, it was a top 20 hit. That's as far as we went. But we
you guys played Cal Jam too.
March 18th.
What's that?
March 18th, 1970.
I was there.
You really?
I was there. Yep. Me and a couple of my friends, we were tiny little guys, push our way up to the front, 300,000 people.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. The deal was they had each band from every label on the show. So it was a very eclectic, diverse, but all the big boys, Hard, Dave Mason, Santana, Ted Nugent, Aerosmith, all these great bands. And we were like Rubicon. People maybe heard but we were the nobody. They wanted us to open the show at noon, and that was too big of a slot. So they said, "You know what? We're going to pick you at the end of the night." So we played after Aerosmith. But, we still probably had 250,000 people there.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Ain't nothing wrong with that. No. Man, the questions are flying in. They want to know, did you watch Robbie's video?
I loved it, dude. Your 8-finger thing was great. Awesome, man. Robbie, kudos. Every note, man. In fact, I was watching going, hey, that's how he does it. No. Yeah, Robbie did a great job. Thoroughly impressed.
Right on.
I want to know a little more about Cal Jam too. I mean, I was there, so I mean, seeing that whole event. I mean, you guys go in there. Did you meet your heroes and stuff? I mean, Hart was there, Aerosmith, Ted Nugent. I mean, Ted Nugent was like the guy, you know.
Yeah, he got pissed off for some reason after the show and went in his dressing room. Everybody had their own like little dressing room. You know, the little things you move around, but you know, with wheels on it. And he stuck his fist through the window in the dressing room, and someone heard a crack and walked out and saw it was broken. He put his fist through it. He was, well, I don't know what happened, but anyway, then we ended up meeting the guy, touring with the guy, and you know, later on, and Ted's great. In fact, he came up to Jack's house about 7-8 years ago, and we did something together, and he sent his Cat Scratch Fever Birdland a couple days before. And I go, Ted, man, can I be your roadie for a day? And he goes, sure. So I restrang it for him and loosened him up and jammed on it and checked it out. And he got there. I go, oh, it's ready to go. But then he played my Strat and got pictures of him playing my Strat, me playing his Birdland. But great guy.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, that show was stellar when he came out. In my memory, he was flying off the amps. I mean, I was a little kid, but I mean, I was like, my jaw was on the floor. Like, this guy is insane.
Yeah, he was insane back then. He used to climb the scaffolding from the side and climb up. And yeah, you know, back then things were a little loose and crazy, man. I mean, crazy.
Yep, they were for sure. So after Rubicon, what happened? How did Rubicon end for you?
Rubicon, we ended up doing the second record called America Dreams, and that didn't do nothing really. And you got to realize we were a funk rock band. We were trying to bridge the gap because funk was happening around 1975, disco, funk, all that stuff. And then, you know, classic rock, you know, I mean, back then it was, you know, you had your, Bad Company and Leonard Skinner and all those great bands out. So we were trying to bridge the gap, you know, rock and roll rhythm section with the Jack playing slap bass, me playing kind of distorted guitar and 3 horns. Anyway, it didn't work. And we ended up breaking up. Kelly Kagi joined the band at the very end, Rubicon. So then we kept things together and started Ranger, basically.
Ranger.
We were Ranger for a couple of years, and you know, we made our demo trying to get all that stuff, you know, trying to get a record deal, but didn't want to play out because nobody knew who we were. So I started a band called the Alameda All Stars, and we were playing all this classic rock stuff and just keep myself busy. But, you know, then that led into us finally getting a record deal. We opened up a Billboard magazine right before our release, 2 pages right in the center of Billboard, 2-page ad. The Rangers out of Texas in a 20-year anniversary. And we were called Ranger, and it was too close. So there was a song in the first record called Night Ranger, so we just changed it. But but they printed up 30,000 album jackets that said Ranger, and we couldn't use them. Yeah, another story. Anyway,
wow, it's cool to have one of those though.
Yeah, no, I don't have one. I know someone that has one lives up by me, but yeah.
So they're freaking out about all the marshals behind you.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's what I do for a living. So I got, just like you, Robbie, got all those amps and guitars. You know, we gotta have our tools of the trade.
Yeah. Yep.
Amen.
I know you're into the Boogie, the Mark II C. That's your favorite. Is that your favorite amp? Is that?
Yeah, that's I use that through Night Ranger and stuff. And when I joined Ozzy, I brought in boogies. So I was using boogies, and they've always been my go-to amp. And all the solos and everything you hear, from Rock in America, Don't Tell Me, Love Me, Sister Christian. It's all through boogies, man. So yeah, now right here. Well, there's the main one right there.
Oh, okay. There we go.
See the Mark V. Red Marshall bottom. Those are 25-watt speakers, so I get a good tone.
Nice. That's the
stuff. Hell yeah.
Right. So we got to talk a little bit about Ozzy, but I do want to talk about when that first video dropped, because that was something else. But obviously Ozzy, I've heard the story, like, you were freaking out when they called you. I mean, who wouldn't be? You're like, oh my God, you're talking to Ozzy, right? And you're going to get an audition and fly to New York.
Yeah,
And,
man, that was quite a time for me. That's when I was with the Alameda All-Stars and Night Ranger wasn't playing, or Ranger as we were back then. So I started a band to keep my chops up with a couple buddies of mine, Danny Chauncey being one. Actually, Kelly Kagi, our drummer from Night Ranger, actually did a couple. Oh, there you go. Yeah, there you go. And we were doing a couple. We were doing a couple Ozzy tunes, And summer 1981, I went and saw Ozzy with Randy at the Oakland Stadium. It was called the Day in the Green. And he was being touted as the next Eddie Van Halen. Of course, I was into Ozzy stuff because we were doing a couple songs, and I said anyway, and saw it play and blew me away, man. Just like everybody said, it was like wow, so playing these Ozzy songs in this club band, going to 3-4 nights a week, we'd hit these circuit, and just because we were so popular back then that people come around more. That's when rock was at its peak right then, and people going to see rock bands in clubs, and I was like, I was in a couple Ozzy songs, and and kind of getting it down. And I remember driving up to the Lucky Lion in the Oakland Hills, and sure enough, on the radio, this devastating news that Randy Rhoads died in a plane crash, a horrible incident. And I actually pulled over and parked my truck full of my equipment and went, oh my God, my father was a pilot, He flew for 40 years, 20 years in the Navy and 20 years commercial. And he used to have a private pilot's license, and he used to take me up at a Cessna, and we used to fly with him. So for them to crash in, I think it was a Cessna, small plane, it's just like little too close to home, So I'm devastated. We go up and play on that Friday night. Of course, we did a little tribute, to Randy and everything going on. And this guy came up and said, "Hey, man, I might be able to get you an audition for the band." I said, "Okay." He goes, "Well, his name was Preston Thrall. Preston's brother was Pat Thrall. Okay. Pat Thrall played with Pat Travers' band when Tommy Aldrich was the drummer. So basically, Preston told Pat, Pat told Tommy told Sharon, and a couple days later, Sunday morning, being up really late on Saturday night, gigging and getting my equipment on, but I get this call. "Hello, Bradley. This is Sharon Auden, Ozzy's manager. We'd like to fly you to New York." And I was like, "All right, who's cool? Come on, it's 8 a.m. No, it's Sharon. Let me put Ozzy on the phone." I said, "Yeah, put Ozzy on the phone." "Hello, Bradley. This is Ozzy." And I went, These guys are real good. That's,
yeah, right.
8 a.m. on a Sunday morning. But my dad, they were in New York. They said, "We're in New York. We'd like to fly you out for an audition," kind of thing. My dad was a pilot, and he'd be in New York, and he called California. There was a slight delay in the phone, and I heard that delay, man, and freaked me out. Then I knew it was him. And he said, get a pen and paper, write down these 18 songs. So I'm like, I'm shaking, write down the songs. And that was a Sunday morning, and they flew me out on Tuesday. I said, "Ozzy, I only know a couple of these songs." "You'll learn them, right?" I said, "Oh, of course, I'll learn them." Did what I could for a couple of days. Flew to New York, $150 in my pocket, one-way ticket, no credit card. And this limo driver picked me up at JFK, and I was grilling him with questions. He goes, "Mr. Gillis, I'm just a limo driver. I don't know anything." So he took me to the Helmsley Palace, and where the band was staying. When I got there, they didn't have a room under my name. And I mentioned all the people involved that my name could be under. Didn't have a room. So how much is the room? It said $135. So gave him $135. I had $15 in my name and went up to my room. Sat there, And sure enough, I got a call, and Larry McNeely, the road manager, said, "Come on up to the big master suite. We're having a party up here." And I walked up and banged on the big door, all this music going on. And Larry opened the door and said, "Oh, Brad, man, how you doing? Everything good?" I said, Yeah, everything's okay. You didn't have a room under my name." And he said, well, what's the deal? He goes, sorry about that. How much was it? I said, $135. I got $15 my name. He whips out crisp $100 bills and gives them to me. How's that? And I said, well, that'll work. So
Nice.
went in and met Sharon, met Ozzy, and Ozzy's like, go get you a guitar, play for me. And I ran down to my room, got my guitar, and that was my audition. No amp.
No amp. Wow.
Yeah, and we did Flying High again. And up to Massachusetts at the end of the bed, and Ozzy was on the floor, cross-legged, looking up in front of me. And I'm playing the riff, and he's singing to me. And Robbie, you know that solo, when it goes the big tapping solo at the end?
Yep.
Yep. I did that. He jumped up, gave me a big hug. Pull me through. I love you. Pull me through. And then he opens the door. All you got to do is freaking guitar player. So Bernie Torme was playing with them then in the interim until they got me going. I thought there was going to be an audition with a bunch of other guitar players, but it was just me.
Wow.
So I went on the road, and they got me a boombox. They got me a little amplifier and 2 live board tape cassettes that the sound man made for me to learn the segues and the way the set flowed, and sat in my room during the day, learning what I could all day. And then I would go to the show and stand at the soundboard and see the explosions and fire and all the stuff they did, the castle and everything. And man, I tell you, man, the sound man would be making me look at you got me up, boy,
Right.
So my 4th day, I told him I was ready and went up and did my sound check.
So you went out there and didn't go back. You went, and that was it.
When I was there, I went on the road. Yeah,
that was it. Oh wow, you didn't even go back home to study or anything. That was it.
Well, no, I had 4 days to learn everything, and they threw me right into the first show, Binghamton, New York, and 8,000 people. Every show was sold out, and I just started playing. And at one point there was a break, and I went back home and got a lot more of my clothes and more amps and guitars. Had them shipped out to where we were. And brought my guitar tech, Mark Newman, with me. Who's still doing it strong. He's with Kiss now, and he was with me for all through the 80s. But yeah, it was tough. It was extremely tough the first couple of weeks, and then we ended up going to playing the King Biscuit Flower Hour in Memphis, Tennessee, and that was a live broadcast.
I heard that. I remember I was sitting by the radio waiting for that to come on, and we're like, "Oh my God, this guy's killing it. Who is he?" Because you were pulling everything off. Because at that time, it seemed to me. I know there's a lot of great players, but it was like, who's going to pull this off? Who's gonna do this? And you were killing it. And we were just sitting around the radio going, "Oh, this guy's killer."
Yeah, and I'm glad that it took. They didn't do this thing earlier, because it took me that 2 weeks, maybe 4 or 5 shows a week, to really get my groove on, I should say. I screwed up the first night on Revelation, Mother Earth. It's a slow song that goes in the middle. It goes chunky fast, right? And I went into the fast section too soon, and Ozzy and Rudy and I started chunking, and they were looking at me like, you screwed up, and I stopped playing, and they're still playing the slow part. I went, oh my God, I screwed up.
That's me.
Got back into it. And at the end of the show, I thought, sorry guys. I go, oh man, dude, you're doing great. Rudy's like, you're doing fine, man. Come on. You never even played with a band before, and you did 7 songs, and you're doing fine, right? So next night, Sharon goes, Bradley, you're doing a great job, but tonight, don't screw up.
No pressure. No pressure.
So it was 8, 9, 10 months, something like that. You're out on the road. It must have been just crazy. Probably a blur, really, right? Must have been a blur.
Yeah, it was a blur. It was tough. A lot of major Randy fans, they didn't accept me. And I'm trying to. I'm trying to play, one of the greatest guitar players and trying to emulate his style and stuff. And I just kind of did my own thing. I don't play like him. I played the best I could, but, I put a little whammy bar in that, just start integrating my style and but you always stick to the classic solos. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
And that's part of the gig. You got to. I mean, I remember seeing people, I won't mention any names, that I grew up with, and you're waiting for this classic solo that you learn note for note, and they go off and do something different. It's like, really, man? I was waiting for the solo. But yeah, it was tough. And then Night Ranger, shop on a record deal. We finally got some action, and then Rudy got action with Quiet Riot.
Yep.
He ended up leaving the band, rejoining them. They came out, bang, boom, huge. So I ended up quitting the band because Night Ranger got a record deal. But we went in and recorded Speak of the Devil with Rudy and Tommy. And then we had finished Dawn Patrol with Night Ranger, and they both were released the same week. I think it was October 15th, 1982. Both records were released the same week, which was huge. And but Rudy went his way, and we'd finished our tour, and I left the band, and we went right back out and touring with Kiss and everybody else. But Speak of the Devil was great and a lot of fun, and we had a couple of days to learn all that new Black Sabbath stuff. But I got some with Mark Newman and me. We did this great stereo guitar sound to get this to widen the field of the for the record, and had a little 10 millisecond delay between one amp and the other, spread left right, and with the boogies cranked on frickin' 9. I don't know, man. The things were so loud. First night with Ozzy was so loud. I wore regular old earplugs. There were
the yellow ones.
Yeah, the yellow ones. For the rest of the tour was so loud. He had the big A7 column things.
A box of them.
And it was so loud. I mean, thank God we got the in-ears now and everything.
Right.
Right.
Well, who does consider his guitar influences? Oh, I'm reading that. Jimi Hendrix, Jimmy Page, and Jeff Beck. Now, those are the three I grew up with. Jimi Hendrix, man, just his flamboyancy, man. He was just such a great player, and and of course Jimmy Page, Led Zeppelin came out, and I started getting into the 2-note rhythmic things that Jimmy Page used to do. Awesome. And of course, less is more. Jeff Beck, man. It was that tasty stuff that he did. But those are the big three. Tour pranks, someone said. Oh yeah, pranks. There's the tour pranks. I mean, gosh, back in the day, jeez.
That's your one.
I'll tell you, yeah, condoms with mayonnaise in it on the microphones, the opening acts, and blow up dolls coming down from the naked blow up dolls coming down from the ceiling, stupid stuff like that, But we had a few pranks on us when we started out and went out in '83 with Night Ranger being the opening act. But everybody took us under their wing, man. It was so great because Don't Tell Me Love Me came out, and everybody loved that tune. All these bands we were opening up for. Everybody from Cheap Trick to ZZ Top and everybody that we toured with, everybody, even Bill Graham, when he was alive back in the day, took us under his wing and had us opening for Judas Priest, and we went out with Sammy Hagar before we were even signed, and yeah, man, we grew up okay, man. We were in the right hands, and luckily MTV just came out. So when we did the Don't Tell Me Love Me video, MTV came out of that 24/7 format every day, every night, every hour. MTV, they didn't have enough content, so they were pretty much playing they were playing Don't Tell Me Love Me 25, 30 times a day.
Wow.
No problem with that.
Video I ever saw on MTV, you guys, and I could tell you where I was at and what I was doing. And there's only 2 songs that I know of in history that I can tell you where I was at and what I was doing when I heard them. The other would be Mean Street by Van Halen when I first heard that. But when you guys came out, I was actually teaching a guitar lesson at this kid's house. And he goes, "We got MTV." And he turned it on. Don't Tell Me You Love Me came on. We're like, oh my goodness, wow. You guys were playing like on a railroad track, right? I was looking for the video. I can't find it anywhere, but it was like stunned, and I go, I've got to learn this. I've got to learn this song. And the band I was in, we covered it. I was
Wow.
like, yeah, I've got to learn this because it was just epic. And that ending gives you just chills when you listen to the harmony solos. It's just chills.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, that's been a staple for us, you know. And then, you know, I mean, MTV was great for us, put a face to the music. So wherever we went, people recognized us, you know, it was kind of awesome. But
where did you do that video? Where was that video done at?
it was done in LA at some warehouse down there. Then we went into an old train yard that was at some park, and we just kind of snuck in. And I think somebody that worked there was a fan of ours or whatever, got us in there, and we filmed it. Those are fake. That's a fake track that they put in there for the video, and then we actually sat on a real train to do some of the stuff in there. But yeah, man. Then you know, then we released "Sing Me Away." That was a single that did okay. Had a video for that, and then they said, "Ah, you gotta do another record, man." And so we went in and recorded. You know, Jack and I wrote "Rockin' America," and Kelly had Sister Christian in his back pocket already. We had it for the first record, but the record company was smart enough, thinking that hey, man, we're gonna save that song for our sophomore second record to make sure you guys have sustainability, you know, because it's like the musician's sophomore curse, I should say.
Right.
You know what I mean? You spend all this time on a record, and then you put this record out, and you know, then they want you to do another record, and you ain't got nothing. You're touring, you know, and so we kind of took a little bit more time to make sure we had that, and then we had Sister Christian. So when they released that, it was huge, everywhere, all over MTV, and that's when the record company said, "Hey, it's about time you start touring." So, I mean, you know, as a headliner. So we came up with a set and all this extra equipment to be a headliner. And I'll never forget pulling into La Crosse, Wisconsin at the Coliseum for going in to do sound check. And it said on the marquee, Night Ranger tonight sold out. So it was like a staple in our career, being a headliner, selling out. So, oh, I just seen Night Ranger and Sticks in Ohio. That's great because we Tommy Shaw came up and played. He played
Higher. Can you take me high enough?
Take me higher. And it was great. It was a blast, man. You know, and he's got such a great voice, man. You know.
Hell yeah. Check this one out here. This one made me laugh. My mom saw you open up for Journey and Foreigner. She said, "Have you guys heard of this band Night Ranger? They're so loud." Yeah, Mom, I know them. What a proud moment.
Proud and proud.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, we're a little loud and proud. Anyway,
Mama was getting after it.
Yeah,
so everybody's loving the Knack shirt, man.
What's that?
I've seen like 16 comments on the Knack shirt.
KNAC, man. That's a hard rock station down in LA area, San Diego, LA. No, they've embraced us. You know, a buddy of mine gave me this shirt, and I wore it out, so I actually bought another one, and I just got it a couple weeks ago. I mean, it's just a great rock sticker. It's a great rock station, and you know, I promote the people that promote us. I know Jack FM. God, we've done a bunch of stuff with you over the years.
Oh yeah, absolutely, brother. Absolutely. We're gonna do some more stuff coming up here soon. We're gonna bring you out here, man. So,
and I'll tell you what, their show, and I kid you not, second to no one. The show is amazing. The first time I actually saw you guys, we played with you in 2012, and it was Sierra Music Festival in Northern California. I forget exactly where it was at. And I mean, I never got the opportunity. Each time we met in 1983, but I was playing that night, and then we met that night, and you don't remember. But when I actually saw you guys, I was like stunned. My jaw was on the floor. I was like, "This is amazing. This is amazing." I went back to Jack, and I was like, "Jack Russell, that is not your Jack." I said, "You got to come out and see these guys. They're unreal." And I was like, so we played with you guys, I think 5 times now. And I stayed for the whole set. If I can be there, I'm there, man. It's a clinic.
Wow, awesome.
I love it.
clinic.
Oh, you know, this band, we still have a great time playing live. We love what we do. Our energy is still over the top. You know, hanging out, doing nothing for the past for 14 months, maybe a little more than that. We got a little, you know, just sitting at home. we had 42 shows, 42 to 45 shows. They were still booking more with Sammy Hagar and Whitesnake doing amphitheaters all around the country last summer, and everything was cut, and we were just stuck at home. And we decided to do a record, and so Jack and Kelly and I got on Zoom calls and came up with ideas, started flushing them out, and got Kerry Kelly, the other guitar player, involved with Eric Levy, the keyboard player. And next thing you know, we had these songs going. Once we had rough arrangements on everything, Kelly Keiki went into a big studio in Arizona where he lives now and cut some
Ken
great
Mary's place. Ken Mary's place. Ken's playing drums with us currently.
Awesome, dude. Awesome.
He told me he was in there. I'm like, sweet.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So that was great. And once we had that, we were everybody having home studios would pass around the files, put our 2 cents, put our parts in. So, oh, look, it's our new record.
There it is.
There she is.
And the band played on. Is it kind of a thing off of the Titanic or something? Where did that come from? The idea.
Well, we were just thinking, through the whole COVID situation.
Got it.
We were able to, and the band played on. We went in and did a record. We thought it was a good idea. I forgot who threw it out there. It might have been Jack, maybe Kelly, maybe Carrie. I don't know. Someone came up with the name when we were going through names. We thought that's pretty apropos. So we did everything. We never got together once, man, doing this record. Never got together once.
Really?
I saw Night Ranger at Grad Night in Disney. No, that was 1984, late 83 or 84. They wanted us to play Grad Night at Disney World. We didn't want to do it until they told us how much they pay us. We thought, okay.
Well, in that case,
we played. I think we played there 4 or 5 nights for all the grads coming in from pretty much the East Coast, Southeast Coast, from the Carolinas, Alabama, everything down. People were shooting down to see us at Disney World in Orlando, but that was quite an experience, kind of fun.
that's badass.
Weird Al Yankovic was there. He was doing his thing there when we were doing Grad Night, and he knew we were watching him on the side, and he did something that told his band, we're going to end up every song with the ending of Rockin' America, da-da-da-da-da-da, right? So he was playing whatever song, Beat It, or whatever he was doing it back then.
Right.
Funny guy.
Hell yeah. So you had a couple guitars out earlier, pre-show.
Oh,
I'm just.
I thought I'd show you my red strap.
Yeah.
1962. There it is.
That's all that's left of it.
Kind of fat. A Japanese fan made this for me back in the 80s. It's got strings on it and everything. But it's a replica of, well, there you go now.
There it is.
This guy,
There's
which is
what the stories that guitar could tell you.
Anyway, the story with this guitar is another friend of my brother's, came over in 1978 and brought me this box with a guitar in it, all taken apart and sanded down, and says, "Hey, Brad, I don't think I'm ever going to put this thing together. Would you put it together? Do you want it to put it together and play it?" And I said, "Sure." This is 78, 62 Strat. Really wasn't worth anything, especially sanded down, but it was all there, all original. So I took it and took it to a friend of my brother's who had a body shop, and I remember watching them. They'd hang it in the body shop where they put the cars. They put it on a big hanger, and they sprayed it with the gray primer, just like cars. And I had a 72 Datsun that had orange red Imron paint. I had an extra gallon for touch up, whatever. And so I had them spray that with the orange red Imron. Then I took the sanded down neck and went to this guy in Oakland. His name was Mr. Kamamoto. He was a luthier, and he took the neck and he sprayed it black, which was kind of original cool back then. Found the original Fender logo to put on the top. And I had an extra fret added on it, 22 frets.
Oh, wow.
And I found out, then in 78, then of course Van Halen came out, and Eddie's doing all the harmonic dive bombs with this thing called the Floyd Rose. And I thought, so I thought, you know what? I got to get me one of these. So I called around and found out this music store in San Francisco called Don Weir's Music City had number 3. Eddie had number 1. Neil Sean had a number 2. And I went and got this number 3 one, and I had it mounted on the guitar and everything. And that's what started it all. So when Eddie was doing his harmonic dive bombs, I wanted to be different. So I started doing harmonic raises. Ooh-wee. And then I'm looking in the mirror one day and I'm trying to come up with cool poses, you know, banging on my guitar. What is that? Right. And I put the bar. Of course, you have it floating, so it'll move.
Right.
Guitar players know what that means. And I flicked it. I was like, I went, that's awesome. So I integrated that in the last 2 notes of the Don't Tell Me Love Me solo.
Really?
I tell you, when I was learning that solo, that was the part that screwed me up so much. I kept doing like this whole, trying to do this whole dissonant thing, like, you know, going like, how is he doing that? You know, something like that. I'm going, it's not, what is it? And then one day I have this guitar here that's got a floating bridge, and I did the same thing. I bumped it and it did that sound. And I went, that's it.
Yeah.
On the guitar, flicking. I go, oh my God, there's the secret.
Yeah. You know, I mean,
it took me a long time to figure that, and it was just stumbled onto it. And it was like, because when I heard that, I couldn't figure it out. But I go, I could tell what notes it was, but I couldn't make it sound like that. I go, how is he doing it?
Someone said it sounded like the Twilight Zone. That's
yes.
funny.
Yeah. You know what they're saying, man. They want to hear a little bit, brother. I mean, I'm not trying to push you in any direction.
A little bit of what? Guitar?
Just a little guitar.
That costs money, you know.
Oh no!
What do you think? This
you know?
Freebies?
I mean, but I tell you, I got something cool for guitar players out there. I showed you this. Oh, I don't even. Of course, I dropped my metal pick. So I've been using metal picks all my life. Of course, I just dropped it. Hold on. But you know, because of that, you know, you're able to do, you know, cool stuff like. Of course, I'm just scraping. Then there's the 12th fret thing. Just dumb stuff like that, you know what I mean? Yeah, and that breakout, man. I'm loving that tune, and you got that middle break. You know, that's always fun to do. But we're playing Breakout live now, which is a blast. And we're going to learn a couple more to start playing live. You know, we're going to learn. I don't know. We're trying to figure it out right now. We're trying to get people's thoughts on what they think are the best couple songs on the new Night Ranger record to play live. So
cool.
Yeah.
Hit up by Mike Rowland. He says, I got to shout out to you. He's a huge fan. So I'm going to shout out from Mike Rowland, and also for my wife, Jessica, because she was like, I was saying, I'm so excited for this. She said she's more excited. I said, whoa, calm down there. we're both excited here. But...
Hey, man, it's great. You know, I just love the idea. We'll see how long we're able to still go out and play live before things get shut down again with COVID. I mean, all these variants. But we're thinking our lucky stars we'd be able to get this far and have a new record out and dig our fans. Our fans are great. You know, but we love to play live. Kerry Kelly's great, man. What a great guy to, you know, here's a story for you, Robbie. You know, when he's joined the band, he's great. Just great player, sings well, fun guy, you know, likes to, you know, we like to got people in the band that are, like to, you know, joke around, have fun. And he's one of those guys. And Eric Levy, keyboard player, he's great too. Just got a great little unit going on here now. But a couple of years ago when Kerry was in the band, you know, we were doing a Rockin' America, and you know, he was kind of doing his own version. I think he was just, I don't know, you know, maybe. Okay. I used to, you know, just goof off, and because I couldn't do a 8-finger thing. And then I go to Kerry, I go, we had 2 weeks off. I go, how cool would that be if you learned the 8-finger thing? And he laughed at me. Right? Okay. Had 2 weeks off. Got back together. He goes, "Hey man, let's do Rockin' America" during sound check. And he was smiling, big smile on his face. I go, wow. I learned the 8 finger thing, and man, he's pulling it off like I saw you do today in your video, Robbie. Awesome.
Yeah, you guys were killing it. I saw you guys. We played the Legends Rock Cruise with you in 2000. Was that 18, 19? I can't remember now. But I mean, I went to your shows, of course, and you guys were just, it was, as always, really good. But the chemistry was so good between all you guys. You could just tell that you guys love what you're doing, that you guys love each other, and that you're having fun. It just shined through. And I'm like, man, this is killer. It's so good. And I had my wife and my kid with me, and we're just like, yeah, this is killer.
Good, man. You know, thank you. Appreciate it. Our attendance has been real good lately. I think people just want to get the frick out of the house and see live music and enjoy life again. So we've been, we've been throwing it down, and we'll see what happens. We got a lot of great shows coming up. We got Summerfest. We got the Kiss Cruise coming up. I don't even know if that's even going to fly. We'll see if that happens. Yeah. And then, a bunch of big festivals with a bunch of other bands. Definitely have a bunch of stuff lined up for next year. In fact, we're opening for Guns N' Roses at the Sweden Rock Festival next summer.
Wow.
And a bunch of other big shows here and there. And we're trying to lock in a big tour with somebody. We'll see what happens.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. They want to know how old you were when you got your Gil Rock.
When you
released Gil Rock.
Oh, Gil Rock Ranch record? Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
How old was I? It was 1991, 92-ish. It took a little while to do. But basically I'd met Derek Sherinian, the great keyboard player who's played with everybody and still doing great for everybody. And he's just look him up. Derek Sherinian's played with everybody. Anyway, I met him when he was a nobody. Next year I was listening to him play, and he's just awesome. And we just started writing this record together, and that's how it pretty much started. He was his keyboard playing was, he used to kick me in the butt trying to learn the riffs he'd do on keyboard to try to translate to guitar. But we started, got into all these songs, and then Greg Allman had moved to town. He was playing with my buddies, the Alameda All-Stars, who kept the band going. But I'd moved on to Night Ranger. So Greg Allman got the Alameda All-Stars to be his Greg Allman and Friends, he called it.
Oh,
and
cool.
He hired the Alameda All-Stars to be part of his band, and they'd go on tour and stuff. And I had a barbecue one day, and I said, Greg's in town. I asked one of the guys in the All-Stars. I said, hey, see if Greg wants to come over. Sure enough, he invited him, and Greg came over and hung out for the barbecue, and I took him in my studio, and I had the song track that had another singer on it that really wasn't, I didn't dig what the singer was doing. So I pulled the vocal off in my studio, just played the track, and Greg's like, hey, man, play that again, man. You got a pen and a paper laying around? I was like, oh, I see where this is going. All right. I said, sure. What color pen? I'll get you whatever you need. So he goes, hey, man, kick everybody out of the studio. Let's put up that Neumann microphone. I had a nice Neumann microphone, the Pro mic. And so I kicked everybody out, and Greg and I sat in there for a couple hours, and he kept writing it down, played the song a couple times. He started singing. And Honest to God, he wrote the music for Honest to God, man. And so then he did another song vocals, and those were the only 2 vocal tracks on the Gil Rock Ranch record. And it was number 18 on the rock charts. It did real well.
Nice. Hell yeah, brother.
It's still available. People can still get it.
Oh, geez, the record company's defunct, and I don't know. I don't even know if you can get it. I think you do hear tracks on YouTube. But check out the song "Honest to God." See if it's on there. I haven't looked lately, but there's really no video for it. But
right,
cool bluesy song, and Greg just, man, he sings the last note. That Greg Allman voice, and every time I hear it, I get chills. Classic.
Amy says she has a copy of it.
Hey, give it back.
Come on, Amy. Share with the rest of the class.
Not too many out there.
I got a mailing address for you. Send it this way.
I'll play it on the air. Send it over.
Hey, you know what? Let's talk a little bit about Gary Moon. I played with Gary after you guys got back together. We played briefly together. He was a cool guy, good singer, good guy.
Yeah, Gary's great, man. He just had a birthday this last Saturday night. He's living closer to me now. He's only about 2 hours away from me. I've been getting him into my studio last couple of years. We have a whole record now together. It's pretty much almost done. It's big rock stuff with Gary's beautiful voice, man. And he's got that low girth and that high, big rock voice. Just trying to wait for the release to get out there. Can't really coincide with the Night Ranger release. It would have to be a couple months later on down the line. So that's what we're looking at. But, Derek Sherenian, it's all over the record and some great stuff. And can't wait to release that. But, just trying to keep busy, man. And everybody's trying to keep busy, man. And
what name is that? What is that record going to be called with Gary? What do you?
Oh, I don't know. I got 30 names I'm looking at right now.
Oh, okay.
The thing is, it's pretty much mixed, ready to go. But as far as the title, artwork, all that stuff, I got to get together with Gary and do some photo session with him. Just all that stuff you need to do to get a record up.
Right. Just want to make sure people know to go look for it and make sure they go and buy it. Support music. Everybody that comes on here knows that. You got to support the musicians. That's what they do.
Amen.
And the new record, the ATBPO. I mean, come on, people. Make sure you get it.
Outside of music, what are your hobbies, brother?
Oh, well, I like to collect guitars and amps. That's one of my hobbies. I've been getting into working out lately. Gotta get back in shape. That's kind of hard to do, so I like to work out. I'm started to lift again. I fell and ripped my rotator cuff last year, so I had to get surgery 4 months ago, and so now that's to the point where I can reach all the way up, and I'm just starting to lift again, trying to get back in shape, but other hobbies, when I travel, man, and I go to these towns, my hobby is just walking around towns and looking for guitars and going to pawn shops and just and enjoying that town and it's such a beautiful country, man. You hit these towns and you figure out what's going on in that town, what it's known for, and you hit these sites. Jack's into this stuff too. Jack Blades collects a lot of war memorabilia stuff from the World War I and II and stuff. So he looks for that. I look for old vintage guitars, and it's just fun stuff like that. But been cooped up here for a while, so just kind of looking forward to just get back on the road and enjoying America.
Yep. Are you listening to any new rock bands in your music playlist? What's in your music playlist right now?
Oh, man, I'm so diverse. You guys going to go, geez, man. It's like, I listen to everything. I'm everything from either new rock, everything coming out, the classic stuff, which you can't really hear on the radio, but everybody comes out with a new record like Journey, AC/DC, and everybody like that, just to hear what's going on in my genre. But I picked up on a band called Seether, a real heavy rock band. Love them, man. The production is over the top. In fact, I emulate my production to these Seether songs because this production's so huge. And then I'll listen to I get up in the morning, I'll listen to somebody like Coldplay, man, just because it's soothing. I can't wake up with the heavy metal, but then, bands like Linkin Park, all these great bands. These aren't new bands, but, but I'm kind of listening to everything going on the radio, and I change stations, and a lot of it's too much pop for me, too much, it's just, I don't get it. And, you end up watching all the award shows, and, there's no rock left, but of course, everybody loves the Foo Fighters, and, that's great that, Dave Grohl came out with some heavy rock stuff and got a lot of airplay and stuff like that. But, I kind of listen to whatever is going on.
Oh, yeah. Balance. That's what you got to have. I want to know, do you like Tool?
I love Tool, man. Yeah, it's a great band. Great bass playing, man. It's awesome. I started getting into, Pantera. You know, we did a show with Phil Anselmo and Corey Taylor. You know, getting into all the stuff that Corey downloaded Corey's new record, and of course all of his old stuff he's done. So I'm listening to everything, man. Dirty Honey, I know Dirty Honey. I got their record too. They're doing real well, matter of fact. But
they are. Yep.
I'm just glad there's a bunch of young bands out there, keeping it alive and able to get airplay.
Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah, man, dude. They've got to get this record. Let's share that one more time here on your website, which is nightranger.com. Let's go over here. And it is that one. I'm new to all this,
Yeah.
So
I think we're going to learn coming for you. I think we're going to learn. There's a song called Can't Afford a Hero. It's a ballad. I use my 57 Strat through a 65 blackface deluxe reverb amp to get that old classic Strat tone. You know about that, Robbie. And I'm digging that too. We got some good stuff on this new record. I'm pretty proud of it. We're all excited about it, and we're getting a lot of. In fact, we've charted on a couple charts around the world with Breakout, the single. What's in Brad's fridge? Oh gosh,
food.
Breakout. You got that,
Healthy
Drake? Breakout single. Drake. I want Drake should spin that single, right, Drake?
I will spin the single, brother. Absolutely. You know that.
I know you will.
Man.
I just wanted to put that out there.
I'll give as much love as I can. So let's go back to what's in your fridge, man, because they say you're looking good.
You
so
do.
You gotta be eating
well, I've been eating healthy lately. I got it. I like probably everybody else gained a bunch of weight during COVID, so that's why I'm getting back into my routine. But I don't have breakfast in the morning. I splurge on the weekends. But during the week I have my shakes. They're fruit shakes, and with the banana, strawberries, and pineapple and almond milk and all that stuff. And I try not to eat. I eat a light lunch around noon or 1, then have a nice little dinner. Have you seen Hailstorm? That's funny. We just played with Hailstorm.
I love Hailstorm.
Yeah, we hung out and they were great. Oh yeah, Lizzie Hale, man, she was great. We just did it a month ago with them. And then we've been lucky enough to play with a lot of bands coming out and hitting it. I didn't realize Hailstone was so big. They won a Grammy, and of course I love Shinedown. Yeah, man, all these bands are great.
Hell yeah, brother. I thank you so much for joining us tonight, man. I mean, this has been like the pinnacle of this show that we've been doing for a little over a year now. And
thanks for having me, you two. Appreciate it, man. I'm gonna go have some dinner. It's all good. I appreciate it. And anybody out there watching, man, check out the new records. It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to buy the record, just go to YouTube and check out Breakout, and that's kind of like a tip off of what the record is like.
Right on, man. Right on. Thank you
so much. Catch a live show. I can't recommend it enough. I kid you not. These guys are so good live. I mean, it's just.
Maybe they're Rock the River 3.
What's that?
Maybe they're Rock the River 3.
There you go. I'm hoping we get to do a show with you guys again, because it's so much fun. I mean, I love watching.
Hey, you guys. Hey, thanks for everything, man. We'll hang together soon when we're in your area, and good luck with your show, man. So far, so good. You guys are doing a great job.
Cool.
All right. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate you.
All right. Take care, you guys.
All right. Cool.
All right. You do. Brad Gillis of Night Ranger joining us here. Man, dude, epic.
Yeah.
Epic.
Yeah. And I'm totally serious. I was totally serious. Well, you got to see these guys live. If you haven't seen them live, you've got to see them live, because it's.
What's crazy is I actually have not. Out of all the concerts I've done and been to, I've never seen them live.
I'm telling you, they're second to none. And there's a lot of good bands, obviously from that era and that stuff. But these guys are like, man, they are the pinnacle. When I finally got to see them in 2012, I was like, oh man, whoa, it's the chemistry. It's these guys together, that the look, everything about it. They just have something that is completely different than everybody else. And it's just a lot of fun. And then we played with them, I think, 5 times now.
Yeah, they're fantastic. You know who else is fantastic is our audience. Our family, man, is fantastic. They came out in force tonight.
Yeah, push like,
And-
share,
Yeah.
share, push like, and then do it again, and then go buy the new record, the new Night Ranger record. I mean,
Absolutely.
watch videos, of course. Watch videos, get their numbers up. But man, I tell you, go buy the record because
Right.
this is the living. These
It
people,
is.
man, that's what they
It
do.
is.
So support it. It's not like it was 30 years ago when that's the only way. Now you can go get it for free. But come on.
Right. Absolutely. And yeah, come back every week and watch the show. We've got a lot more people coming up.
Who's next
very-
week? You want me to tell? Who's next
Yes.
week? We're going to bring Jack Russell back next week. Jack
Yes, we
Russell
are.
too, because the following week, well, it'll be that week. Actually, that week we will be playing the River Stage for Rock
In
the River
San Angelo.
in San Angelo. So we'll have Jack.
San
We'll talk
Angelo.
about the show coming up, and we'll get some news stories. This is his second time. He was our first show, wasn't he? He was our first show.
He
So
was.
a year and like 2 or 3 months ago. So we'll beat him down and get some new stuff out of him.
Yeah, we'll have some fun with the old Captain Jack next week, man. And then we'll have fun with Captain Jack here in San Angelo. So get those tickets. You see it down here at the bottom. You can go to www.rocktheriverconcert.com and get your tickets. Now, if you're coming out here, get with me. Hit me up because I can get you some special rates on hotels, all that fun stuff. We're going to be giving away some guitars and stupid stuff, just have some fun. So
Pull an RV onto his property, right?
yeah, man, I got a couple spots. You guys can pull right onto my property. Park your camper, RV, whatever you got to do.
Bring your fishing pole.
Yes, because I live on a lake. So
Yeah.
Yep. Let's make it
Nice.
happen. And Cora was supposed to make it. Cora. I know. Cora. That's all we can say. But hope to see you guys there. Until next week, I guess. We love you. Be safe. Stay safe. Let us get better. Ugh. God, this stuff sucks, brother. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. Well, you know what? The energy was up. I mean, just being able to listen to Brad's stories was like, I think that helps you heal, right? Make you feel better. Like, yeah, I'm feeling better.
I'm feeling better, man. I'm not gonna lie. Say some prayers for my wife. She's got it a little worse than I do right now. So I'd appreciate that. But we're gonna get through it, and we'll be out there rocking next weekend for sure.
Go.
Right. All right. Well, we'll see you next time. Love y'all.